dogs. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. No matter how little you care about politics, you've definitely heard this. The tragedy of re-election of Donald Trump as the President of the United States, and I'm not afraid to use exactly this word, a tragedy. We're one step closer to turning this world into a dystopian nightmare. Over 76 million people voted for the man who said that getting through the 80s without getting STDs was his personal Vietnam. I am scared to think that the world is drowning in the fatal human flaws of ignorance, injustice, lies, prejudice. Whatever Orwell, Bradbury, Atwood were writing about in their fictional texts is turning the tables in front of our eyes. And it might be happening beyond our reach, but the fire still burns us down. It's hard to predict what Trump will get up to in the next 4 years of his presidency because, in a way, it was hard to predict that he would win the election in the first place, after everything that man has done. But I remember the first couple of months of war in Ukraine, and I remember the months before the war had started. And my mom was extremely anxious and extremely worried that it would happen any second. And me, a naive 14 years old teenager who loved people, I would say to her, no, there's no way this will happen. People can't do something this inhuman. It will never happen. Well, I genuinely believed what I was saying, and that calmed my mother down. But now, I don't have a bit of that naivety or hope left, because I know how actually horrible and terrifying humankind can be. Trump didn't win the election because he was a good candidate. And he certainly didn't win the election because Kamala was a bad candidate. He won purely because America isn't yet ready to see a female president, let alone a mixed-race female president. With the amount on Trump's record, he wouldn't be allowed to work at McDonald's, and yet he's allowed to run the third biggest country in the world. The man who publicly sexualized a 10-year-old girl and his own daughter. To quote The Daily Show on the day of the election results, yeah, it's official. America's elected its first criminal president before electing its first female president. What a day for proud felonists. And I know what you might be thinking right now, that it has nothing to do with you. You might not be American. You might be a teenager who's not yet allowed to vote. And yet, that is not what this speech is about. 76 million people potentially threw this world into hellish chaos, where Palestine and Ukraine could be wiped out from the surface of the planet, where even more women die without necessary health care, where people are punished for loving each other, where men say, "Your body, my choice." 76 million people did this by ticking a tiny box. It's our collective responsibility as humankind to not repeat our mistakes, to learn from the mistakes we've made in the past and learn from the mistakes of others. It's our collective responsibility to care. Because the moment we stop caring about the world that we live in and about the people we share it with, that's the moment it all